of my favorite things to do besides play hockey is getting to play hockey in some pretty cool places. In this episode of the Beer Leaguer podcast, I touch on a couple of the places I've gotten to play hockey at and how those came about. But more importantly, I tell you how you can find cool places to play hockey too. In this episode, I'm going to talk about some of the interesting and different places I've been able to play hockey. Now, I never played hockey as a kid, so I don't have stories about away games or tournaments, all the stuff kids talk about, playing knee hockey and mini sticks and stuff like that in the hallways. I don't have anything like that. I started playing it as an adult, and I always thought that that wasn't something that adults get to do. I thought that was just for kids. But I am here to say that adults can find cool places to play hockey, and you should be doing it. For a little context of where I play hockey now, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States. The league that I play in plays at 5 different rinks in the area, and they're all rinks that high school teams play at. None of them are larger than 2 pads of ice. Most of them are single pad rinks. There is an outdoor rink that we have around here that is run by the city that has occasional pickup or stick and puck, usually just kind of open skates. And there's a couple other rinks that aren't in the league that I do play at, have played at. But again, those are rinks that a high school team plays at. Nothing crazy huge, nothing crazy fancy. I think that's what most rec leagues, most adult leagues, most beer leagues are playing at. But what I have played at outside of that is some pretty cool places. I've played at 6 different NHL arenas. I've played in Pittsburgh, Vegas, Jersey, Long Island, Detroit, Philly. I've played at an AHL stadium, an NFL stadium, rinks up in Toronto that are really big and way nicer than a lot of the rinks around here that I've played at, outdoor rinks on Long Island, outdoor rinks in Buffalo. So some pretty cool places. And I'm not doing anything special. I'm nobody special that gets to go play in these places. So there's no reason you can't play in some of these cool places too. So what we're talking about is how I've gotten into these, how you can find places to play so you can get out and play some of these things. The easiest way to get out and play at some cool places is to get ice yourself. I've played at the arena over in Cleveland here. It's where the Cavs play. It's where the AHL team Monsters play. And my league does our annual All-Star game there. And I played in it for a couple of years, and I actually run that now. And it's not anything crazy to get. It's just about finding the right person. Most NHL, AHL, ECHL, all through whatever league you want to talk about, they'll have somebody that is in charge of community relations, youth hockey, something like that. That's the person you get a hold of. Find out how you can get the rink. These rinks usually have ice sitting there. Nobody's using it. They'd like to make money off of it. So they will, let you get on there usually. Most of them do, especially the non-NHL rinks. The NHL rinks, a lot of times, they have a lot tighter schedules on stuff because they usually have other stuff going on, other events. The teams, kind of need the ice to be at their disposal usually for things. So they can be a little bit tougher. But these minor league teams don't have that sort of thing. So they have a lot of openings, during the week and stuff when there's not stuff going on. So what I do with our All-Star game is we have to sell X number of tickets to get an hour of ice time. So we just have an All-Star game organized where every team in the league can send people to the All-Star game and they just have to buy, X number of tickets so we can fill our quota and we get ice. It's pretty simple to do that. And a lot of teams have something similar to that. Or some of them you can just flat out rent the ice, like you can at your local rink. So it's just a matter of getting a hold of somebody from that team and asking them about that. Hey, can we rent ice at some point? Hours for it might not be great. It might be they only have stuff available during the day, which maybe you can't do. Maybe it's only on weekends during the week. But something find out, talk to people. It's They want to rent the ice. It's there. It's just sitting there. They want to get that out there. Along those same lines, like I said, the city has a outdoor rink, and you can rent that. The rink over here that we have isn't really a hockey rink; it's just a ice rink that you can play hockey on. They have had like some small kind of half ice size tournaments and stuff on it for things, but there are rinks around there that you can find rinks that will rent you ice, especially if they're city rinks. That's what they're there for. They're there for people to use. So they want them to get rented. So if there is something like that, find out who runs it. If it's the city, if it's somebody owns it, and see if they rent it. A lot of this stuff is just doing a little bit of legwork to find it, to say, who do I pay money to get to do this thing? That's usually the biggest thing for it, is finding that person. This is also how I've gotten to play at an NFL stadium. Last year here in Cleveland, Monsters, the minor league team, played at Cleveland Brown Stadium. And because I had a relationship with the Monsters from renting the ice previously, we got offered ice. So same kind of deal. We had to buy X number of tickets to that outdoor game, and we were able to play at NFL Stadium and play there. That's a pretty cool kind of once in a lifetime thing to probably get to do. But it's because I talked to people before and they knew me and they had me on a list of people that was interested in doing this kind of stuff. So once you kind of get your foot in the door with these things, it kind of opens up to you to be able to do these things. That kind of leads into my next point, which is just ask around and talk to people. Find out, if people have played at cool venues. Find out if they are playing someplace different and neat. If they have done like a travel tournament or something, or they know somebody else that has, and just ask around. I think everybody that I know that's gotten to play at different rinks, at arenas and stuff like that, they love to talk about it because it's a cool thing. It's, you get to kind of brag about where you've played. So if you just get them talking, you can usually find out how it came about, or lead you to somebody else to how did they, get this, and how did this happen, and can I do this? And it's just getting the ball rolling. A lot of this is really just doing legwork. It's usually pretty easy to get the ice, just finding out who to talk to, who's the right person to talk to at certain places. That's usually the biggest hurdle. So just putting it out there and, like I said, getting your name on a list, getting on a wait list for something. Just letting friends, know, people you play hockey with, people in your league know, hey, this is something I would be interested in doing. And if they're looking for somebody then, or they know something opens up, hopefully they'll get a hold of you about it. That's probably the easiest and biggest way to get into this stuff. Another thing to do if you're looking for places to play, social media. This is a great time to actually use social media for stuff. Follow local teams, not just your professional teams, your semi-pro teams, your like junior teams if you're in Canada, AAA teams, things like that. Even a lot of these beer league teams have, Facebook, Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, stuff like that. Follow them. Check out what they're doing. Go scrolling through and see if they've played at cool places. And if they have, shoot them a message and say, hey, how'd you get to play there? How'd you do this? How did that happen? Find out about it. People, like I said, usually like to talk about it. So look up for those things. Also, Reddit is really good. The Hockey Players subreddit. That's actually how I found the group that became Rent the Rink. That's actually how I played in those NHL arenas. Is they started it because the guy had this idea of, hey, I found out I can rent out ice at Joe Louis Arena before it closed, but he needed X number of people to get in there to make it, so it was affordable to do it, and he got it. He did that a couple times, and then that turned into this Rent the Rink thing that he was doing. Hopefully that comes back, but that's just from reading a thing on Reddit. Also from Reddit is how I found out about the BLPA, the Beer League Players Association. They do tournaments. They do draft tournaments. They're doing travel tournaments now. They're a great one to look at too, because they go to some cool places. And if you can't get a whole team together, You want to go to someplace cool and play hockey, someplace different. You want to play out of state. You want to make a trip out of it, but you can only go yourself, or your family goes or something like that. Their draft tournaments, that's kind of what they're for. Go there, play with some different people. You don't have to know anybody. You'll meet people. And those are the people that you can also ask about playing in other tournaments. I've done one of their just regular tournaments with the team down there, and talking to other people. Some of the people were local and they only were there because they were in the, from the area. But also there were a number of people that traveled from out of state, traveled from a couple states away to go play in this. And once you start talking to them, that's, how you find out other places to play, other things that they've done, exchange information with them. I hate to say this, but a lot of it comes down to networking with people. That's kind of the key to a lot of these things, is just putting out there to people that you want to go play at some different venues, you want to go play at some cool places, and seeing what comes back from it. Another thing is Instagram. It's a great place to look. Again, following local teams, doesn't have to be pro, semi-pro, AAA, junior teams, stuff like that. See where they're playing, see if they're playing tournaments, see if they're playing outdoor ice somewhere, see if they got something like that. And if you're not, getting a hold of the team, get a hold of the venue and see if they have things. And I will put some links down to some YouTube videos that I've done playing in the Rent the Rink venues, and also links to all these tournament places that I've talked about in the show notes, and if you're watching this on YouTube, also in the descriptions. So you can check this stuff out for yourself and kind of see some of my experiences and what I've gotten to do with those. Like I said, going back to when I played at the NFL stadium, getting a hold of teams that played there wouldn't have really helped me, but getting a hold of the venue could have, directed me into the right place to talk to. So see if they're playing places that you'd like to play, because if somebody has ice down, again, they don't want it just sitting there costing them money. They'd like to make some money off of it. These people that have ice, it's expensive to have ice. They want to get their money back from it. They don't want to have it, just sitting there not doing anything. They're usually happy to have people come and rent it out and get stuff on there. Another thing is to look for tournaments. Now, my league that I play in, that's how I've played up in Toronto. They do like a championship tournament at the end of the year up in Toronto. So some leagues have things like that. If your league doesn't have something like that, or you're not in a league, maybe ask about it. See if there's something they can do. If they could go someplace cooler, have a neat venue like that. And, you can also volunteer to help organize something like that. Some of these venues are easier to get into if you have the power of a league behind you. Like I said, for the All-Star game that I help organize, if I didn't have a league behind me with a large group of players to get involved in it, it would be just trying to get enough of my buddies together to get up there and buy the tickets and put that together. And that would be a lot more difficult than getting a whole league of people that want to do that. So maybe offer that up to your league as, hey, I'll do the work for this. Can I have the backing of you guys to bring in teams to do that? Or maybe even play like regular season games someplace different, or like a championship game somewhere, or trying to put on some sort of like a championship tournament at a cool venue as well. Or if you go to a tournament, look around. A lot of the rinks that host tournaments host multiple tournaments. So they might advertise, for an upcoming tournament. Maybe it's not an adult tournament, but maybe it is. You can find those advertisements there because, again, if they're having a tournament, they want people there. Especially good if you're going out of town somewhere to look for that stuff. Get out and find these things. See who's putting on the tournament. A lot of these companies that put on tournaments, they put on multiple tournaments, usually not just in one area. Even these places that do kids tournaments, a lot of them also do some adult tournaments in there. They realize that's a good venue. That's a way they can make other money, make a little extra, do something different. It's, So look that up. Look up these places if there's somewhere that you're going that does this stuff. Or if you have kids that play hockey, if they're doing a travel tournament or an away thing or something like that, see who's running it and ask them about it. Ask if they do adult stuff. If you can get into that, find out how they do these things. Usually if you find one tournament that's somewhere, some adult tournament, you're going to find other ones. It snowballs. If you're out there looking for it, you're going to find it because these places want to be found. They're not hiding. They're trying to be found at stuff. So if you start looking, at the rinks, start looking online for things like that, you'll find this stuff. It's out there. Google it. Google for tournaments in either your area or someplace you want to go. That's a great way to find these things too. They want to be found via Google. They want to be found on Facebook. They want to be found on different things like that. If you just Google for, adult hockey tournament near me, or adult hockey tournament in whatever city, you're going to find some stuff, and that can kind of lead you down the right road if you just look for it. I think a lot of people don't even think to look for it, or think it's too hard to find it, or it's going to be really difficult. It's not. Most of these tournaments are super easy to sign up for too. Most of them they don't want to make it a pain for you. They want you there. They want to take your money. They want to make it the lowest barrier to entry as possible to get into these things. So get out there and look around. Find this stuff. All right. To recap, how to find cool places to play. Number 1, ask around. Tell people you're looking for this stuff. Ask people where they've played. See how they got into there. That's the easiest thing you can start doing right now. Just get kind of the word out that you're interested in it. Follow on social media looking for local teams or teams that are near-ish to you or teams near where you want to play, and look and see where they're playing. See if they're playing in some cool venues. See if they have, an away tournament at some place that's, just got ice for this year or something like that. See where that is. Follow up with the venue. See how you can get in there. They'll get back to you. It's not that hard to do. Just looking around on that. Follow other things like stuff on Reddit. Reddit is a great place to be looking for this stuff. It's a great place to be asking for these things. That's a place people kind of advertise that they're doing this stuff, looking for teams or looking for players. So that's a great venue for that as well. And finally, I think the easiest way to do this, okay, maybe not the easiest, but the least difficult way, do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Find a venue near you that you think is cool. If you have a local team and you want to play it at their place, you want to play at the rink that they play at, but you don't think you can, find somebody that works at the rink. Find somebody that works for the team that runs that and talk to them. See what you can do. If you want to go play at a different rink somewhere else in the area, find out what it is. Find out what the barrier to entry to get in is. Usually it's just buying tickets, paying X amount of money. Usually that's all you got to do. So find that. Just keep talking. They'll direct you to the right person. Find something for yourself. Put together like I did. Put together this All-Star game thing, something like that. Or just make a game out of it. Get your teams playing there. I played at this outdoor rink in Long Island with the Rent the Rink folks when we were out there. And it was because we had local people to Long Island that were doing the Rent the Rink experience, and their local beer league played at this outdoor rink weekly. And they said, hey, we're having all these people out there for this event. Instead of having our teams play there on this night, can we just bring out these guys that are traveling for this Rent the Rink thing? And we did. We played out at this really cool outdoor rink in Long Island, So if you just kind of ask around, talk to people, put that out there, go to some of these things. Honestly, if there's tournaments and stuff going on near you, and even if you're not playing in them, go to them, go check it out. The people that run the tournaments, talk to them when there's not people coming in for signing up, when they have time, don't bother them. when they're kind of kicking things off or doing stuff. They're going to be a lot less friendly then. But, talk to them and see what they have. See other places they're doing things. See who's running the stuff. Maybe they can direct you to, the right place to go or the right people to do. Or maybe they do something themselves and have that. But, if you just kind of put in a little bit of legwork to most of these things, you can usually find an avenue to getting to play some pretty cool places. Listen, it's not difficult to find cool places to play. It just takes doing a little bit of work, a couple of phone calls or emails or something, asking the right people, keeping your eyes open for it. And that's it. It's 100% worth it, though. That little bit of work is totally worth it. So, whether it's a weekend at an Airbnb with the boys, getting to play in a tournament, you're taking a full-on destination vacation with the family, to Europe or even just another state, to go play a little hockey while you're also on vacation. Or it's someplace you usually go and watch a pro team and you just want to play on the same ice that you go watch teams play on. It's going to be a memorable experience for everybody involved. Because getting to play hockey is great, but getting to play hockey in someplace cool is just special. So get out there, go play hockey in someplace cool. Let me know about it. Let me know where you've played, how you came about playing there. I'd love to hear about it. Because like I said, when you get to play in a cool place, you like to brag about it. All right, everybody. I hope this encourages you. Get out, go play hockey in someplace cool with your friends or with a bunch of strangers. Have some good stories to tell. And we'll catch you in the next one.